If my stream does this one more time, I'm moving to my phone hotspot.
Why?
Recall what Makoto told us Monokuma said to him earlier.
I'm sure I've told you this already, but just couldn't get me.
So if the mastermind is in the school, we have to assume it can only be that 16th student.
How'd they manage to survive all of this?
So we're the only ones here? It's not me! I'm not the mastermind!
Well, it's not me!
I blame Makoto!
What? Why me?
'Cause it's super weird how you're the only one who survived being executed.
I'm not the only one.
Oh, I get it! The only way he could have survived is if he was actually the mastermind himself, right?
Aw, nuts! You got me!
You're telling lies!
What are you trying to say?
Everyone, calm down. There's no reason to panic. The mastermind's true identity will become clear soon enough. Just as soon as we find out who killed Mukuro.
That's a good point. Rather than wasting time bickering, we should put our minds to work solving this mystery.
Yeah, well, how much time have we already spent talking about the murder?
He's right. What more is there to talk about?
If you want something to talk about, I think there might be one thing. We haven't fully established what Mukuro's fatal injury was.
Huh? But I thought we figured that out. She died when she got hit in the back of the head.
No, that isn't actually what killed her. It was something entirely different. Wouldn't you agree, Makoto?
I got it! All of the wounds covering her body. That's what really killed her.
Hey, now hold on a second. You did read the Monokuma file, right?
Yep, the Monokuma file. I'm finna read it again. I don't care. I'm reading it again. The Monokuma file says, due to the explosion, the victim's identity is unknown, where they were, however, dead before the blast. The victim has been stabbed a single time with a knife, which went completely through the body. They had been struck in the head with a blunt object as thick as a metal pipe. The body was covered with other wounds, but these wounds were at least several days ago. And due to the explosion, the victim's identity is unknown. They were, however, dead before the blast. It didn't say the knife killed him. So I don't know. The body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least...
It made it pretty clear. Those wounds were made at least a few days ago. So they can't possibly be what killed her.
Consider this. What if the murder itself took place at least a few days ago?
What?
What if, when we discovered her body, she'd already been dead for several days? If that's true, then naturally the wounds that killed her would appear to be however many days old.
That doesn't make any sense. Because she had all those wounds before she ever came here.
Huh? How do you know that?
Isn't it obvious? She was the ultimate soldier, right? So that means, you know...
You're wrong.
She denied me. Before I could even say anything.
Because you're wrong.
Come on. I mean, you think I'm not weird, okay? At least listen to what I have to say before you deny me.
But you're all wrong. If you're so sure we're going to deny you, why bother saying it in the first place? Exactly! Alright. Define what you do. Makuro's Wasabi's profile. Alright, Makuro's Wasabi's profile.
Mukuro was the ultimate soldier. She must have been so when you obviously she got all those wounds and
Are you finished?
Deny me. You made me.
Don't worry, there wasn't anything cute about it.
Mukuro was the ultimate touch. She must have been so when you obviously she got.
No, it's wrong. No, Mukuro didn't suffer those wounds in battle. The file we found in the headmaster's room said as much. Despite the time she spent in battle after battle as a member of Fenrir, when she entered this school, she hadn't sustained a single injury.
To be denied so completely. Actually, it's kind of refreshing. Maybe it's because of all of Master's training.
Anyway, so we can be sure that Mukuro suffered all those wounds after coming to this school, in which case, they could be the very thing that killed her.
As a matter of fact, it's hard to imagine any other possibility. When examining her body, I found that her stomach and head wounds came after she was already dead.
Unless anyone has any better suggestions, I think we can say this with confidence. The wounds Mukuro sustained all over her body are what ultimately killed her.
But if that's what killed her, then does that mean she's really been dead for who knows how long?
That's exactly what it means. When we found her body in the garden, she'd already been dead for several days.
So then, what about the little matter of what happened last night? Makoto, you said you were attacked in your room by a masked assailant. If Mukuro had already been dead for several days, certainly it couldn't have been her. So who was it that attacked you?
We don't know. Then it got to be. I really thought. I didn't mean to click that!
I got it! The one who attacked me was the true mastermind. When we discovered Mukuro in the garden wearing the same mask, I naturally assumed she must have been the one who attacked me. But I was wrong. It wasn't her at all. It was the mastermind.
What are you laughing at? Oh, don't mind me. I'm just getting a little impatient sitting here listening. I think I'm gonna jump in. Let's start off with a nice, easy question. Your assumption that I attacked Makoto is just that, right? And you can't really know who was under that mask, can you? I mean, that's the whole point of a mask. The true identity of the masked attacker is Mukuro Ikusaba. At least, that's what I think. Do you have any evidence that might convince me otherwise?
It's not wearing nails, see? Nothing, to be honest. Now just realizing that. Okay, this is not it.
You never saw their face, so you can't have it. I'm telling you now, it was Mukuro.
You're wrong. There's another part of the attack.
Oh? And is it the right hand or the left hand? Maybe the right foot. Or perhaps...
So, right here. And she was dead like this. That means... I really don't know. That means it's right
the
here.
left foot. Or could it be... the hands? You never... saw their face, so you can't have any of... I'm telling you now, it was...
Oh.
No, it's wrong. Mukuro had a tattoo on her right hand, if I remember correctly. A representation of Fenrir. But I saw the right hand of the person who attacked me. and there was no such tattoo. So there's no way the person behind the mask was Mukuro.
Yeah, well, okay. You got me. I guess it was...
I all have solid alibis for that entire night.
Yeah! We were in the gym tearing you apart, so it couldn't have been any of us.
Oh, okay, sure. It couldn't have been any of you. But what about Kyoko? It totally could have been her. Uh-oh. No snappy comeback. Did I score a bullseye?
If you insist, I don't mind showing you.
Huh? Show me what?
What do you think? I'll show you the one thing that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it wasn't me.
Before anyone could just say anything. I remember. I think I let out a gas. It was more
awful, isn't it? It happened when I was first learning to be a detective. I was inexperienced.
I thought you didn't want anyone to see those scars.
If it means we get another step closer to unmasking the mastermind, it doesn't really bother me.
Kyoko seems to savor the words as she said them. Then she put her gloves back on.
My scars should suffice as proof. Makoto, did the person who attacked you have scars like mine?
Nope.
No, not at all. I'm positive.
Then this much has been made clear. There can be no doubt that the one who attacked Makoto is the true mastermind.
Yep.
This is just awful. On top of my secret being revealed, I had to look at those positively grotesque scars of yours. Sorry, did I say that out loud? I do hope I didn't hurt your feelings.
Not at all. You can say whatever you want.
Sure, as long as it means pushing me farther into the corner, right? Because if you haven't noticed, the circumstances surrounding Mukuro's death are totally unknown.
That's true. All we know right now is she was killed a good while before this morning.
On the contrary, we don't know anything other than that.
You're not going to tell us she was already dead before we arrived here or something, are you?
In that regard, you have nothing to worry about. I promise you, without a doubt, she died after our little killing game began here.
Then somehow, she was killed in secret without any of us knowing.
And after she died, who knows how much time went by before we found her, right? Did the culprit stash her somewhere? She couldn't have been in the garden the whole time, could she?
If she was, she would have been totally decomposed. Just like your brain.
Then, she was being stored somewhere?
But to hide a body here, to just store it somewhere?
Please.
I got it!
Biolab.
Mukuro's body was probably kept hidden in the biolab.
Biolab? You mean on the 5th floor?
That's right. It's actually set up for use as a morgue. So it's the perfect place to hide a body.
Oh, what are you doing?
And it'd keep the body preserved at the same time.
Okay.
Then you're also saying the body was moved from the biolab to the garden.
And I have no doubt that that's exactly what happened. In fact, I have proof.
Proof that shows the body was carried from the biolab to the garden. Nothing new.
I got it!
Tarp.
What makes me so sure the body was carried from the biolab to the garden is the tarp that we found in the garden. When I was checking it over again, I noticed something. I noticed that some text had been stamped on one corner of the tarp.
Oh, it says Biolab.
Holy cow! How'd you notice that tiny little thing?
Makoto's nitpicky nature seems to have surfaced with perfect timing.
This proves that the tarp originally came from the biolab. In fact, there's a whole stack of tarps just like it in there.
So when the killer moved the body to the garden, they must have grabbed a tarp to wrap it in. Then they simply left it as it was to protect against the sprinklers, and put the coat on it afterwards.
You made everything sound so amazingly consistent. But that's just a wild guess!
Where's your evidence? Prove that the body was wrapped in a tarp and moved!
There is no evidence. I was simply explaining what I think happened. But you seem to be getting pretty worked up about it, wouldn't you say?
Worked up?
Now that the conversation has turned to the topic of the biolab, you must be getting pretty nervous. Because the key to uncovering your secret identity is hidden within that room, isn't it?
You talking about unmasking the mastermind?
You see, the biolab contained an inconsistency. One so major it can't be overlooked.
La la la! I can't hear you! La 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 la!
Such a child. Oh well, just ignore him.
I need to pull myself together and think. Then the consistency. Could you?
Hey, by the way, Makoto, what about that one thing?
What one thing?
What do you think? I'm talking about your family.
What?
Don't tell me you forgot about that video message. So what do you think? Are you sure your family's still okay?
Why are you bringing that up now?
Your mom, your dad, your little
Stop it!
sister. What do you think has happened to your family? Are they really as safe as you might have assumed?
Stop talking about that!
Calm down, Makoto. He wants you to get upset.
He's just saying that because we're getting closer to proof to the bottom line, so if we want to shut him in, it takes closer to the sun, the consistency has to be that the one area where the numbers were closer to the action.
Are you sure about this? What are you even talking about? Are you sure about this? What are you even talking about? Better luck next time. Punishment is waiting for you.
Hey!
Are you sure about this? I'm not listening.
What up? La 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 la, I can hear you. I don't like this.
What are you even talking about?
Hey.
I'm not listening.
What? That takes down two!
Sure about this? What are you even talking about? I'm not listening!
This should prove it.
That doesn't make sense, but alright.
The inconsistency Kyoko's talking about is... the light.
What are you talking about? What about the lights?
Like I said before, the biolab also acts as a morgue. And as part of that, a giant refrigerator was installed in there. That's where everyone who's died is stored.
And it was set up so that when a slot had a body in it, a blue light would turn on.
In other words, if the blue light is on, that means there's a body in that slot.
But I counted up the number of blue lights that were on, including the one Mukuro was in. And there were only 9.
Why does that matter? You gotta give me the bite-sized version here, man.
I got it! 10 of the lights should have been on. Any other number is incredibly suspicious.
Suspicious? Why?
Because there should be 10 people dead right now.
Just recall who's died here so far, and it should become clear.
That's right. Cycle back first. Should go. Leon was third. Kid was fourth. Lando was fifth. Chuck was sixth, and Camille was like second. Clarence was eighth. Sakura was 9. And victim number 10 was Mukuro.
So 10 people in all?
That's right. Any other number should make you immediately suspicious. But according to the lights in the biolab, only 9 people were being stored there.
You're saying a dead body just up and disappeared?
I got it! The masterminds destroyed one of the bodies to get rid of evidence.
But if they wanted to do that, they would have destroyed Mukuro's body, since they actually killed her. And yet, her body was left alone.
Then, whose body disappeared?
It may very well be that none of them disappeared.
But if that's true, then why doesn't the body count match?
Including Monokuma's executions, there have apparently been 10 deaths, but there were only 9 bodies. That's the point I'm trying to make.
I'm completely lost. How can the number of victims be less than the number of murders?
That's why there are less bodies in here. Especially murders and victims. Why is that? How would it take? But that's not a true. Only 9 members took place. The same person was killed twice. Only 9 murders took place. I can't look. Only 9 murders took place, or the mastermind destroyed a body. No, it couldn't be the same person was killed twice. Nope.
I got it! What about if the same person was killed twice?
Killed?
Officially, 10 murders have been committed so far, but one of the victims may have been murdered, and then murdered again.
Murdered and murdered again?
If that's the case, there could have been 10 killings, but still only 9 victims, right?
Technically, you're right, I guess. Still, something like that
Could easily have happened. No, it is what happened.
Sounds like you're already convinced. Then can you tell us who was killed twice?
It was Mukuro, of course. Before she was killed as Mukuro Ikusaba, she was killed as someone else.
And that's why the body had to be stored in the biolab until the moment we found it in the garden.
No, that's crazy talk. She was killed as someone else? Come on! Besides, who could that someone else
Well, I need to believe
been?
that.
All you have to do is look at those bodily injuries of hers, and that will become obvious.
Nothing's gonna become obvious, because Kyoko's totally delusional!
No, that's not right. That's not right.
Who is this someone else that Mukuro
I gotta
was
get this
killed
right.
at? Was it Sayaka, Junko, Enoshi, Leonku, Chihiro, Mando, Kiyotaka, Hifumi, Celestia, Lu, or maybe... No, there's no way anyone was murdered twice! Is this someone? Was it
Can't go.
Junko, Enoshima, Leon Kuwata?
No!
Chihiro Fujisaki? Mando, Kiyotaki Fumi, Celestial, or maybe... No, there's no way anyone was murdered twice! Who is this someone else? Was it Sayaka, Junko, Enoshima? Leon, Chihiro, Mando, Kiyotaki Fumi, Celestia, Lu, or maybe
No. There's no way anyone would...
So, Junko was alive!
Junko, wasn't her fatal injury pretty similar to Mukuro's?
What do you mean?
Well, remember what happened to her? She was impaled by a bunch of spears, all over her body.
And Mukuro died from a number of wounds across her body. When you compare that to the stab wounds Junko suffered...
Then the similarities match?
Yes, and those are the only fatal injuries that match up. That explains why those two bodies are actually one and the same.
So let me see if I have this straight. Junko, or someone going by that name, was stabbed to death with multiple spears. Then her body was kept in the biolab for however long before being dragged out again. Only this time, it was presented as the corpse of one Mukuro Ikusaba.
It all matches up, right? Those wounds Junko suffered could easily be these same injuries.
It's really true? Mukuro and Junko are the same person? Wait, so then... What does it all mean?
It means that there haven't been 10 victims, but 9. Which also means that among the people we thought were dead, one is still alive.
And that's the true identity of the mastermind?
Who is it? Who's behind all this?
We already know the answer to that. It's Mukuro. She's still alive. She took Junko's body and made it look like she was the one who died. So
Toko, you might actually be right about that.
Total silence? Then I must be right. I'm right, aren't I?
Toko's not right. Oh, it's not in the Mukuro file. Because
the body we found in the garden, it wasn't Mukuro.
Then she's still alive?
That's right. She made it look like so the mastermind's true identity is Mukuro.
What do you say, Monokuma?
why would we ever attack him just for that to be true? When that could have been her body we found. That couldn't have been the body we found. Exactly.
Wasn't then she's still alive?
That's right. She made it so the mastermind's true identity is Mukuro.
Okay. Dang it.
I refuse to give up yet.
Oh, we don't get that much life out of
The body
oh, never mind.
found in the garden.
It wasn't then she's still... That's right. So the mastermind's true.
What do you say, Monokuma?
So I'm moving this part of this.
It wasn't Mukuro.
No, it's wrong. No, the body we found in the garden was Mukuro. That's one thing we can be sure of. The body's appearance and measurements are consistent with her records.
So Toko was wrong.
Right,
She's
Kyoko?
always wrong.
She's 5 foot 6 inches tall and weighed 97 pounds. Her vitals were 31, 21, 32. Everything in her profile is consistent with that corpse.
And then there's the matter of the Fenrir tattoo. So there's no question it's her.
But if Mukuro's not the mastermind, then who's actually still alive?
Kuma.
Shoot!
Oh, thanks. Chuchenko then.
Here's my answer. Junko is still alive. It's the only possibility.
Are you sure about that?
Huh?
I admit, since Mukuro is undoubtedly dead, Junko does seem to be the only other explanation. But we saw her get impaled. She died right before our very eyes. If Junko were still alive, the death we saw would had to have been some kind of charade. But you yourself confirmed she was dead, did you not?
She was dead. There's no question. Junko was dead.
So, the idea that she's still alive.
Wait, I'm confused here.
It must be wrong.
Then you're withdrawing your previous statement?
I know you gave it your best shot, but too bad. I guess your conclusion was a dud. Too bad, too bad.
This case hasn't been decided just yet. You haven't given up already, have you, Makoto?
Oh.
No, of course not. There's no way I'd give up that easy.
That's all well and good, but how do you intend to solve the problem standing in your way? Junko absolutely died. Mukuro absolutely died.
Then why is there only one?
They're dead, right? There can't be any kind of survivor story.
I think we need to look at this from the opposite direction.
The opposite direction?
Let's assume Junko is still alive. If so, how could she have survived?
Somebody else entirely. Alright, let's see what word we got this time. Replica. Why would it be a replica? Replace! Replace!
Now I understand. That's it. What if she switched places with someone else?
Switched places?
That's right. Before the spears could kill her, she got someone to take her place. Specifically, Mukuro Ikusaba.
Then that would make it Mukuro's corpse that showed up later.
Which is why the body's height and weight and everything match Mukuro's profile, right?
I don't know anything about this switching places thing, but that had to be Junko who got stabbed to death, right?
Yeah, you're saying they switched? When could they even have done that?
Hold on, we're inviting me to a party.
I got it! Two of them may have switched places from the very beginning.
What? From the beginning?
What?
Yes, from the moment we first met. If that's
Why do you
where
want to
they
know?
switched-
There's really no reason to know, Cameron.
then they wouldn't have had to switch at the
Cameron.
moment of death, right?
Why? Do you want to use them?
After all,
Oh,
the
you
one
don't
we
need to
saw
know
at that point would have already been Mukuro.
No, you don't. Because I know where they are.
You're saying the Junko we
No,
first
they're not.
met.
Huh? No, they're not. Because I know where they are, but I'm not telling you. So stop trying to lie.
It's actually Mukuro all along?
We'd already met her?
I had, like, a normal conversation with her.
When we first met, none of us knew who anyone else was. So Mukuro could have simply told us her name was Junko, and we never would have known the difference. That would easily allow the two of them to switch places from the very beginning.
Wait, but Mukuro had a tattoo on the back of her hand, right? Junko never had any tattoo like that, did she?
But the nails!
She could have hidden it with foundation or something like that. If she did, it likely melted away in the explosion, exposing the tattoo after the body was extinguished. Plus, there were the fake nails found on the hands of Mukuro's body. They were the same fake red nails she was wearing when we all met for the first time.
But if she really did use foundation...
Correct. Even if there was no tattoo on her hand, I couldn't say for certain it wasn't Mukuro. So I'm glad nobody noticed that glaring hole when we were trying to figure out who attacked Makoto. But too bad for you, Monokuma. You can't deny it anymore.
Wait, so this whole thing was a setup from the very beginning?
If that's true, it was quite an elaborate plan to be sure.
So that means... she's still alive! She's the mastermind! Alright, but first, now that I know... Stop saying the game 4 times, I guess.
Making it look like Mukuro was Junko.
The reason such an elaborate plan was possible is because the two of them were working together.
So Mukuro, the ultimate despair, teamed up with someone like her. In other words, it would be fair to say that Junko herself was also the ultimate despair.
What's wrong? Lost the will to fight back?
I think he's just afraid.
Afraid? What's that mean, afraid? Fear is only possible where hope is possible. I only have despair, so fear is an alien concept to me.
Then why haven't you been saying anything?
Because it's a bunch of nonsense. Junko's my secret identity. As if.
Then why did you try and protect Junko's real identity?
I tried to protect her identity? When did I do that?
So you still refuse to say that you can catch you. You see that's how you want it. It doesn't matter because I already figured it out. I tried to hide Junko's identity and not just once but twice. The first time it was during the latest investigation. Twice. How?
Shoot!
I need to. If I get to 1 life, I need to look. I need to now start looking these up on YouTube.
Shoot!
Which I really don't know. I really don't know.
Shoot!
Bruh! Case 6. Yeah, but I'm not playing it right now. I'm not playing it right now. Bro, I'm playing Danganronpa. I'm doing a stream too.
I got it!
How was this right?
While I was in the AV room, watching...
Huh? But some people were, but I had to end it a couple times because of my internet.
the DVD of our interviews with the headmaster.
Actually, there was this one dude named The Purge watching, and he answered and typed. Huh? What? Alright, can you shut up? I need to catch up.